All right, let's talk about the future of fashion, because something really strange is happening. Your social media feed? It's not just for scrolling anymore. It's actually becoming the new storefront.
And that brings us to this huge, central question. I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? We have more people shopping online than at any point in history. So why is it getting so much harder for brands to actually sell clothes?
You see, this is the great paradox facing the industry today. You've got more potential customers, sure, but you also have way more competition. And the result? Less growth. Brands are stuck on this expensive hamster wheel, just paying more and more for ads but seeing less and less in return. There's got to be a better way.
Well, it turns out there is, and it all comes down to a strategy called the public-private domain model.
So what does that actually mean? Instead of just shouting into the giant void of the internet, this model is about creating two separate but totally connected spaces for your customers. One space is for grabbing their attention, and the other is for building a real community. And this, right here, really lays out the difference. Look at the left side, the old way. It's all about renting traffic. You pay for an ad, someone clicks, maybe they buy something, and then poof, they're gone. But the new way, on the right, that's about building an audience, an asset. You draw people in with amazing content, and then you invite them into an exclusive space where you can build a real, long-term relationship.
Here's a great way to picture it. Your public social media feed, that's the bustling city square. It's where you put on a show, create a spectacle, and draw a huge crowd. Then, for the people who are really interested, you invite them into your private boutique just around the corner. Think of it like a members-only club where you give them exclusive access and personalized service. It's a reason for them to stick around.
So, this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, to find out, we can look at the data from the WeChat ecosystem, which has pretty much perfected this model.
First up, get a load of this number, 4.3 times. Brands using this public-private strategy grew their sales more than 4 times faster than the market average. Now, that's not just a small bump. That is a total game changer.
And it's not just existing customers either. The number of shoppers under the age of 25 using these kinds of features exploded by over 336% in just 1 year. This proves the model is resonating with the next generation of consumers who grew up with this blend of content and commerce.
So how does this whole engine work? Well, it's a really clever virtuous cycle. The public content you put out there attracts new people and pulls them into your private community. And then, the feedback and the data you get from that loyal private community, it tells you exactly what kind of content to make for the public. Each side just keeps feeding the other.
For the customer, the whole journey becomes incredibly smooth. You might see an amazing video on a public feed, right? Then, you can just tap a link to buy that product directly in an integrated shop. And right after you buy, you get an invitation to an exclusive members group with special perks. It's attract, convert, and retain, all happening in one seamless flow.
Okay, so we've talked about the model, but of course, a system this powerful only works because it's built for the way people actually want to shop now. So, who is this new, sophisticated shopper? Well, the report breaks it down into 5 key traits. First, they're super engaged. They watch a ton of fashion content before they even think about buying. They also tend to have higher incomes, and they're really driven by what their friends and trusted influencers say. This means they do their homework, they research everything, and in the end, they are obsessed with quality. They'll absolutely pay more for it.
And if you need one stat to drive this all home, here it is. Almost 70% of shoppers will buy something just because an influencer they follow recommended it. Think about that. Trust is the new currency, and that community space is where you build and spend that trust. This is exactly why the old renting traffic model just doesn't work anymore.
So let's pull all of this together. What's the one big idea you should walk away with from this massive shift in how we shop?
The bottom line is this: your social feed is no longer just a marketing channel. It's not just an ad. It is the new flagship store. It's where people discover you, where they talk to you, where they get advice from a community, and where they ultimately click buy. It's all becoming one single, fluid experience.
And yeah, we've been using the WeChat ecosystem as our main example, but don't get hung up on that. The principles here are universal. This blend of content, community, and commerce, this is the direction that all of global retail is heading. The future isn't about anonymous clicks. It's about building real, genuine relationships.
Which leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. Maybe the goal shouldn't be to just build a better website or a better online store. Maybe the real goal is to create a better, ongoing conversation with the people who truly love what you do.
Because in this new world, that conversation, that's where all the value is.